Hello everyone and welcome back to Microtech Knives. Today we're going to talk about a serious subject, and that is counterfeiting. For those of you that might be new to Microtech or to the brand, you might not know what to look for. And this is not going to be a video on how to tell one apart from the other, but I just want you to be an informed buyer and to know that unless you're buying from an authorized Microtech dealer, you might be throwing your money down the drain. So in front of me here, guys, this is a small sampling of knives that were actually sent in for return authorization work because they either failed to function, or they needed to be sharpened, or it was missing a screw, or it was stripped out in the chassis. And while they have gotten better with counterfeits throughout the years, I can tell you it's probably not going to be M390 or LMAX or whatever they happen to laser on the blade. And then the other thing is the blade steel itself probably isn't going to have the Rockwell hardness that it needs. We'll go ahead and go downstairs, we'll test some of these. But the thing is, it's a shame for those that spend good money, their hard-earned money, to be able to get their first Microtech only to have an issue right out of the gate, send it in for return authorization, and then be told that it was a fake Microtech. Upon first glance, this is a pretty good representation of what one would look like. However, upon coming into the RA department, it was obvious we have ways of being able to tell internally things that they're not going to be able to replicate. And it's our own little trade secrets on knowing what it is to look for when we see something that's fake. Now, if this person wanted to have this returned to them, then what we do is we go ahead and laser out all of our registered trademarks, such as the Microtech and the claw, and then they will have to pay for shipping back to their location. We will not repair it because those are our registered trademarks and it is a counterfeit. The counterfeit industry is nothing to scoff at. Everything from bicycle helmets to refrigerators, you name it, any way for people to take your money with you thinking that you're getting a quality product, and in fact you're getting a substandard product with less quality that looks like the real thing. So enough talking. It's a shame that the people have wasted their money on everything from fake tachyons to bounty hunters, and it can be very, very hard to tell. They've gotten very, very good at duplicating our old packaging and even our new packaging. I would highly discourage anyone from going to Gun Broker and ordering a Microtech or any place that's not an authorized dealer. What we're going to do is we're going to look at how to go online, find a Microtech authorized dealer to protect yourself, to make sure that you're getting a genuine Microtech knife. In order to search for your closest authorized Microtech knife dealer, just go to your browser and just type in microtechknives.com. Once you do this, it is going to pull up our webpage. In the right-hand side under Info, you're going to see Find a Dealer. Click on that tab, and it will show you dealer locations by name, address, or zip code. So in our case, we're going to use 28759, and that would be Microtech Knives. So this would be an authorized dealer. Of course, this is our location in Mills River, North Carolina. Now we can visit the website, and if it's another dealer, you'd be able to see their information here. We always recommend buying from authorized dealers. This way, this protects yourself from getting a counterfeit. All right, another thing to keep in mind, never order from DHgate or Alibaba or any place like that. They are not authorized Microtech dealers, and I can guarantee you that those are going to be fake when they come in, if you even get the product at all. My heart goes out to those that buy these knives not really knowing the difference. This was one individual that had purchased these knives individually from places like gun shows and pawn shops, thinking they were getting a good deal. Now, in his collection, these are pretty good representations of really good counterfeits. Here's a Combat Troodon. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know any better. Unfortunately, he ended up with 8 knives that are all counterfeit. So always remember, if it's too good to be true, or if you look at pricing and let's say this knife retails for $400 to $500 depending on the blade configuration and the finish, and you're getting it for a couple $100, it's probably going to be a fake. That's not always the case, but finding something at a pawn shop or at a gun show, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. Heart goes out to him, but unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it to help him other than to let him know that these were actual counterfeits, and we'll have to remove all the logos on these before we ship them back to him, and we will not repair them either. So one of the most important things about a blade is the hardness. You want something that will retain an edge, and something that will hold that edge for a while. If it's too soft, it's going to be sharp for just a moment, but one of the first times you cut it, what's going to happen is your blade edge is going to roll over. So as a general rule, and this is a generalization, you want a Rockwell hardness of somewhere between 58 to 62. More commonly 58 to 60, but you will see 61 and 62 occasionally. Now the higher up on the scale it is, let's say 60, 61, somewhere in that number, what's going to happen is you'll have a very hard blade that will retain an edge, but it will be harder to sharpen. Some people might say it'll be a little more brittle because you could break a tip, but you're at those numbers where you need to be to have good edge retention. As you drop below 58, what's going to happen is now you have a blade that can bend, it won't break, and it won't hold an edge. So what we have here is a Rockwell hardness testing machine. This is a Mitutoyo HR300. And what we're going to do is we're going to test the hardness of this counterfeit. Remember, it should be somewhere between 58 to 62. So what we're going to do is we're going to fixture this up. Typically this is done with the blade outside of the chassis, but I can find a flat spot here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to get it set. Okay, we're right where we need to be, and we're going to go ahead and hit start, and we're going to check and see what the hardness testing is on this. You're going to have an A scale, you'll have a B scale, and then a C scale. So once it runs through the C, we'll see what it comes up to, and remember, we really want to see 58 to 60. This one is a 53.3. So you're basically getting a crap blade that is extremely soft, something that's going to bend and will not hold an edge. So that's on that counterfeit. All right, so next we're going to test this Bounty Hunter. And anytime you do this, you are going to damage the blade with a little dimple. If you ever had one of our blades apart, you usually see a dimple where we've checked those. But let's see what this counterfeit Bounty Hunter comes up to. Remember, the minimum is a 58. So let's see what happens. Oops. $56. Horrible. Horrible. You guys might say, well, it's only 2 points off. That goes a long ways when you talk about Rockwell hardness. So guys, I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't do this. For those that know me, you know that I've been carrying this SOCOM Elite for 22 years now. I'm actually going to find a spot and do a Rockwell hardness test on it, and we'll see. We could say it's going to ruin my blade with a little dimple, but I'm going to say it gives it character. And let's see how this one turns out. So here we go. I can never take that dimple out of it. Going to the B scale, and then the C, 61.3. So guys, this is a testament to what we do here at Microtech. If you guys watched the birth of an Ultratech, we went through that whole process. We really take pride, and you really do get what you pay for. I will have a permanent dimple here on my blade, but I'll always be able to remember that. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video of how to protect yourself from buying a counterfeit and seeing that not all things are equal. I know a lot of people aesthetically might feel like they're getting a Microtech and that it cuts good enough for them, but it is not a genuine Microtech. If you're paying $100 for something at a pawn shop, chances are it's going to be a fake one, and don't be one of those that get taken. Also check out microtechgear.com for the latest in our gear and apparel. And then also check out the Marfione podcast. If you're into podcasts or like to listen to really, really good content with some really unique folks, go over and check it out on our YouTube channel at Marfione Podcast. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for tuning in.